Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD.
And we're coming to you with game faces on because the Sac Joaquin section football playoffs are here. Other playoffs are already in full cycle here. It's 6 weeks now to the state CIF state championships at Sac State. Can you believe that? We're just getting warmed up.
Welcome back for another edition of MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by SMUD. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by Joe Davidson, the Sacramento Bee. And Week 10 is in the books, and now it is playoff time, Joe.
Yeah, high school football playoffs really matters now. It used to be for decades that the 10-week regular season was the end of the season, and there's such a premium on a league championship. And then in the 1970s, for the Sac Joaquin section at least, the playoffs started. And then it was just a 3-week sprint to the section finals, and then in recent years, since 2006, the state championships. And now we have NorCal games, and there's more and expansion. I think more is better. It's a lot of fun. Some people will argue that too many games is too many games, but that's not for everybody. Not everybody's playing 13, 14, 15, 16 games. We know that this state really is big time for high school football, and Northern California Sac Joaquin section is as good as anybody on the West Coast.
Well, the fun is beginning now, and Joe, but we're not done with Week 10. We had a chance to go out and see perhaps the best rivalry in this area, and this time they weren't playing for a league title, they were playing to get into the playoffs. We saw Del Oro playing host to Granite Bay. One of the best rivalries in the area added another chapter on Friday when the Del Oro Golden Eagles took to their home field to square off against the Granite Bay Grizzlies. Winner of this one would finish fourth in the Sierra Foothill League and secure a spot in this week's playoffs. It was a defensive slugfest early, but that didn't stop Granite Bay's Sam Casana, who takes it around the right side for the game's first score, putting the Grizzlies on the board at 7-0 midway through the first. That score would hold until just over 2 minutes left in the half when Del Oro's Brian Wildheid connected here on the 32-yard field goal, cutting the Granite Bay lead to 7-3, and that would be your score at the break. Third quarter now, and Del Oro got the ground game going behind Dalton G., who takes in from a yard out, putting Del Oro back on top, this time at 10-7. G., he would finish the game with 92 yards on the ground. Granite Bay answered with just over 2:16 left in the third quarter when Kyle Kraft rolls left, and he hits his guy Alex Martinez. That's a touchdown, and the lead is back to Granite Bay at 14-10. In the final minutes of play, Del Oro went to G time and again as the Golden Eagles marched down the field, and that would lead to G's second touchdown of the night. Del Oro goes back on top, this at 17-14 with 1:56 left. Granite Bay had an opportunity late. Kraft finds Martinez over the middle. There he is, great catch. And they are in field goal territory with just under a minute to go. But penalties and big plays by the Del Oro defense push the Grizzlies back, setting up this Hail Mary pass with 30 seconds left. It's no good, and that seals the 17-14 victory for Del Oro and also locks up a playoff spot as the Golden Eagles finish the regular season 3-3 in league, 4-6 overall. But despite the record, it was the win they needed, and Coach Casey Taylor was proud of the effort.
You know, what a great game. Props to Granite Bay, a great program we have a lot of respect for, and man, they play hard. Another classic here, and just found a way. Our guys didn't quit, man, and we were struggling offensively and turned the ball over, but hey, we got to put that drive together at the end. And our defense, we finally closed the game out. We lost 3 games in the last 2 minutes, and to finish the season off, stop them on defense and have a chance to go play in the playoffs. Real proud of these guys.
All right, Mike, good stuff there. As you can see, the great atmosphere. It's always a carnival in Loomis for a game, and it's true that Del Oro and Granite Bay were not playing for a Sierra Foothill League championship. Seems like they've done that forever since these two programs really became great rivals. But that's how good that this area is. The winner's in, loser's gonna get ready for another season. This kind of atmosphere is what we're going to have to get used to for the playoffs, and I think it's great. Sometimes the early rounds of the section playoffs don't have a big attendance, but they certainly start to pick up for the section semifinals and the finals. Check us out on SacB.com. We got all the playoff previews, breakdowns, exhaustive. We'll talk a little bit here and there about some of the teams to talk about in this segment as we go forward. There's too many to just tie up this whole show doing, but We're all over at SACB.com as well.
Yeah, and in this coming week that we're in, we are going to have our show's football preview. So you'll be doing a preview, obviously, in the B. This week we'll have our football preview. So we'll break down the brackets, kind of talk about the contenders, who we think has a chance to win it all, maybe look for some surprises. So we have plenty more football. That's a bonus show this week on MaxPreps.com. All right, Joe, football, big time. We can't wait for the playoffs to start, but we do have more.
Hold your thought on more, just to give a little
okay.
teaser as we tease to that Max Prep show. Some of the teams that you're looking for in Division I are some of the usual characters. Folsom, Napa, Oak Ridge. Elk Grove's also in the Division I field as a section, as the Delta League champion there, so that's a loaded field there. Division II teams of note, Rockland, Grant, Del Campo, Antelope, Sacramento. Wow. Other teams, of course, certainly are Intercom looking to win a section championship for the first time. Division III heavy is also Central Catholic, Oakdale. Division 4, 5, 6, some of the small schools like Capital Christian and Sacramento. So there's just a sample, large schools, medium schools, small, in the city, up in the foothills, wherever. It's we're loaded. So check out for those previews.
Yeah, lots of balance as we come up. All right, Joe, as I said, more coming up in this show. We have water polo, boys and girls water polo, girls individual tennis championships. We're going to have our Makuni Sushi trivia question, our Placer Title Company insiders, and our PTC insiders, Joe. We're going to talk about our show's Player of the Year and Coach of the Year candidates. So plenty coming up. Stick around.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are Max Prep Sacramento, powered by our good friends from SMUD. All kinds of coverage as well on MaxPreps.com and SACB.com, but nobody bounces around the regions like you do. And football, we're all over it. We've got more discussion on that coming up, but tennis is in the air right now, and the tennis around here has always been big.
Yes, it has. And Joe, a lot of times we see some of the same contenders each year, and it was that case once again. We got some highlights. It's the championships for the individual titles. We're going to take you out to Johnson Ranch in Roseville. It was a perfect day out for the Sac Joaquin Section's Girls Tennis Championships on Friday, and we'll start with the premier matchup coming in Division I, where Franklin sophomore Jackie Tan was looking to repeat, but standing in her way was Oak Ridge junior Madeline Almeida. Tan beat Almeida last year, but not this year, as it would belong to Almeida. She defeats Tan in 3 sets, 6-2, 2-6, and 6-3, and now Almeida will try to lead her Lady Trojans to another team title this week. Hannah Highsmith of Vista del Lago, she took the Division II singles title. In Division II doubles, Rio Americanos tandem of Sydney Komlinich and Jenna Kodal made easy work of Del Campo's Kristen Crisco and Sabrina Boudreau. Komlinich and Kodal, they cruised to a 6-0 and 6-2 win. In Division I, Rockland's Navina Otoda and Canela Luna claimed the section championship.
All right, Mike, good stuff there, but it's not completely over for tennis.
No, it's not. We have the Sac Joaquin Section Team Championships coming up. Last year it was Oak Ridge, probably a favorite once again this year. All right, we have more playoff action. We've got water polo for you, boys and girls. Sac Joaquin Section playoffs will start with the boys' second round action with the Wood Creek Timberwolves of Roseville taking on the mighty Davis Blue Devils in pursuit of their 16th section title. We're going to take you out to Shaw Aquatic Center on the campus of UC Davis, and this match was all Davis from the beginning. Up 1-0, Davis's Cameron Wright delivers the impressive score from in close, and it's now 2-0. Still in the first, short time later, Wright doing it again. He scores from the left side this time to make it 4-0, and Davis is rolling right along. The lead would climb to 5-0 here, and before you knew it, the rout was on. The Blue Devils would roll to a 14-5 win, advancing to Wednesday's semifinals at Tokay High School, where they'll take on the Jesuit Marauders. Winner moves on to this Saturday's section championship match at the Aquatic Center. Girls now, and just like the boys, the Davis Blue Devils are one of the most dominant teams in the area, looking for their 7th straight section title this year, their 13th overall, and their second round matchup on Thursday had the McClatchy Lions in town at the Shaw Aquatic Center. We're going to pick it up in the first period. Davis already up 4-0, when Avery Warhover shoots. She gets her miss. She sends it in this time to make it a 5-0 game. Less than a minute later, Brooke Doughton tosses it in for the score, and it's now 6-0 Blue Devils. The second period onslaught continued. Scout Brown makes it 7-0, and then how about this long-distance shot by Emily Blackwell? That's in there. And to finish out the half, it's Elena Alvarez to Alyssa Lengat. That makes it 9-0 at the half, and Davis will go on to win it by a final of 19-0, advancing to Wednesday's semifinals against Lincoln of Stockton. Let's wrap it up with more girls water polo. The St. Francis Troubadours playing host, the Enox Eagles of Modesto. And this match was all St. Francis. Up 4-0 midway through the first, St. Francis Samantha Reynolds scores from in close to make it 5-0 Troubadours. But not done yet. Alyssa Tambernini comes up from the left side. She sets, fires, and Tambernini scores to make it 6-0. And before the opening period was done, St. Francis would add one more goal, this by Kira Chavez. St. Francis goes up 8-0 after one period and would coast to a 21-3 win, setting up a semifinal match this week and perhaps in the championship on Saturday if the Troubadours can keep it going.
All right, Mike, good stuff there. Such an unsung sport, water polo. We've had so many athletes in the Sac Joaquin section to go on to college scholarships. Sometimes they go to the Olympic fame as well.
Yeah, and then one of the dominant teams in this area has been Davis, and should be a big week once again as they take on the championships this Saturday. All right, Joe, halfway through, when we come back, we've got our Placer Title Company Insiders, where we're going to bring you our Coach and Player of the Year candidates.
For football?
For football. And later in the show, we have a Makuni Sushi trivia question. Stick around.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by our good friends from SMUD. Bonus coverage right and left at maxpreps.com and certainly at sacb.com. We got photo galleries, stories, all kinds of good stuff. This is a good time of year right now, and we're going to talk about some of our Sacramento Bee and our show football players of the year, coaches of the year in just a moment, but we got trivia on the brain right now.
We do. By the way, you like Makuni, don't you?
I love Makuni. Good folks, good eating, good stuff.
Good food. We're going to be there soon. All right, Joe, we have a Makuni trivia question, and here it is, all right? Soccer related. Nick Iwasa plays for the Jesuit Marauders soccer team this year, and quite the talent he is. But he had a brother that graduated in 2011, played for Jesuit, but he's still playing. So the question is, do you know where his brother is playing and what his name is? We'll give you the answer in our final segment. All right, Joe, let's get right to it. Another segment, we're going to talk about our Coach and Player of the Year candidates. We're going to do it in our Placer Title Company Insider segment.
All right, Mike, let's break into football again. The Sacramento Bee and this show, we're going to have our Players of the Year, Coaches of the Year segment at the end of the football season. But let's kind of throw out some names to consider with the regular season behind us. But keep in mind that the Sac Joaquin section, NorCal, and state championship games completely alter all of this because these are the games that really matter. So some coaches of note right off the bat. How about last year's winners?
Yeah.
Chris Richardson, Troy Taylor of Folsom High School, terrific 1-2 punch. Went 10-0 in the regular season again. Have another shot to win another Sac Joaquin section championship. That would be a four-peat. And what if they get back to the state finals? Why are these guys again? Because they only had one starter back. He was a big starter in Jonah Williams. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with these guys, if that's the case.
Let me throw another candidate out there. How about Eric Cavalier of Oak Ridge High School? The Trojans playing as well as they've played in a few years. And he's been around for a while. You know, he's had some great teams. This could be perhaps one of the better ones. And, of course, he's led by Ian Book, but definitely a candidate.
Absolutely, and the one loss in local play was to Folsom for the Sierra Foothill League Championship, but they might have a rematch in the Sac Joaquin section finals. So that could certainly sway that argument there. Let's stick in the foothills again. How about up in Placer High School in Auburn, Joey Montoya, another 10-0 season. He's looking for that section championship. His grandfather won several. He wants one. He wants one. You've seen Joey. I've seen Joey. What stands out about this guy besides his frenetic energy?
You just took it away from me. Yeah, great energy. He's a Hillman guy, and that's where he lives. That's where he went to school. He's Placer Hillman. Since he's taken over that program a few years back, they have just been great contenders. Hey, I got another one for you. Let's head out to Oak Grove. Chris Nixon, what a year the Thundering Herd are having. Just a great year for that team. He's been around a long time, always a candidate every year. What do you like about Mr. Nixon?
I think he's a terrific coach, and he's an off-campus coach, meaning he doesn't teach at Oak Grove High School. He's in the district at the elementary school, so this makes it a harder job. He is a terrific offensive mind. He lets his coaches coach. He has great offensive line, great defense, and he's got excellent coaches there. 10-0 in the regular season. Would love a shot at Folsom, maybe for the Sac Joaquin Section Division I championship. We'll see what happens there, but that's a great coach there. How about another coach who has a 10-0 team? Matt Ray of the Antelope Titans, not a very old school, 8 years old, best team they've ever had. This guy goes for it, and I saw him against Casumas Oaks, and they went for 2 in the win. Got it. You saw him a week later against Del Campo. He went with a trick play, a double pass. Got it. And he says you can't be afraid to win in high school football. I think that's a great attitude, and it might reward him with a unique honor. They'll be in Division II, so if they win a section championship there, that'll certainly help that argument. And another coach that you know well, Terry Stark.
Terry Stark, been around a long time. He's done a lot of things. Long-time coach this area. Head coach for Intercom Tigers. Team playing well once again. You've covered Terry Stark a long time as well. What do you say that his main characteristic that makes him so successful?
He's a product of the wing T, which is a lot of deception and fakes, and played excellent quarterback for Miraloma High School in the 1970s, and that's what he does now is they run the wing T. So they're big on speed and execution in the backfield. So not a lot of people do that. This is a spread era, so he stays true to his loyalty. All right, some Sacramento Bee Player of the Year candidates as well. Some names here. Playoffs could certainly dictate this, but Ryan Robards down at Elk Grove, what is it that this guy does not do? He averages 24 points a game, which is pretty good in basketball, only we're talking about blocking and tackling. Handoffs, receptions, returns, defense. He's a leader. He's fun. He's different. He's dominant. I mean, this guy throughout the regular season is your runaway favorite for the area player of the year.
And, by the way, he's a great baseball player, too. We think of Robards. You really can't nail him down to one spot. He does it all. I got one for you. How about Jake Jeffrey, quarterback for Folsom? Jake Browning goes off to college, Washington. Jake Jeffrey, just like all these quarterbacks for Folsom, steps right in. And one thing Chris Richardson, co-head coach for Folsom, told you and I both, he's a competitor. And this guy, he wants to run over that linebacker. He's a runner, he's a passer, and they just have not missed a beat.
No, and the coaches before the season had a declaration and a warning all rolled into one, and they said, we have another Jake. And they have another Jake, and he does compete. It means a lot to him to be the quarterback for this program. Very sharp, very bright, very motivated. He could run all over you, and he could pass. He's got great touch, so it was terrific. Okay, sticking up there in the Highway 50 corridor, Ian Book. Yeah. Oak Ridge, you've seen him. I've seen him. What do you like about him?
I like his experience. I like that he's just gotten better every year. He's going to Notre Dame next year, so we know he's a talent. Just very poised. I mean, this is just a year that he's been waiting for. He started as a sophomore, and you could see how his play has carried over the team. But by the way, he's a great runner, but he's also a great passer. He loves to run over a linebacker as well. Very talented.
And a guy who likes to throw over the top to the tune of 10,000 career yards. Not in one season, that would be some kind of record. Caden Voges of Sacramento High School, 3-year starter. He is trying to get a first-time section championship. He's been in the section finals as a sophomore, didn't get there last year as a junior, but he likes his team, best team they've had, 9-1 going into the playoffs, loaded field in Sac Joaquin Section Division II. You win a championship there, and you're getting some of our votes.
Yeah, let's give a couple more names, maybe one on defense. And again, this is not the final list or official list. We're just throwing some names out there that are coming off the top of our head, but guys that will be considered for sure.
I think here's an unsung guy maybe for a defensive player of the year. Could be a guy, Sam Cusano of Granite Bay, and you saw him the other night. He makes plays. He could also play on offense. He's a big picture, smart, mature leader. His father, Dave Cusano, was a dominant player for Folsom High School in the mid-'80s, made the Sacramento Bee All-Decade team. I think the old man has had to concede that the best athlete at the dinner table is young Sam. So there's a guy, and another one I'm going to throw at you, same leagues here, Foothill League. Evan Holtz is a jet, very quick, put him on defense as well. He makes plays in the secondary. Terrific running back, maybe the most quickest, explosive running back in all of Sacramento. Evan Holtz of Rockland is a guy as well. There's so many names, so many people. Sack walking section, NorCal State Championship success really cements arguments.
All right, Joe, those are just some of the names we're looking at for our Coach and Players of the Year honors. You're doing a separate one for the B as well. So, again, too many names to put out here in the show. All right, one more segment to go. When we come back, plenty more. We're going to bring our Mikuni Sushi trivia question. We're going to talk about some of the championships coming up this week that we'll have in our show, but we got more than that.
Yeah, and we also have a big picture, insightful concern on how safe is high school football in California. We've had 8 player deaths across the country just this year, and some people are very concerned. Is it going to last? Is it going to be around in a couple of years? We'll talk about that.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Thinking about whether a solar power system is a good fit for your home or not?
Here, try this instead.
SMUD can help. If you've got questions, SMUD's got answers. Check with SMUD before signing a contract. Visit smud.org/solaranswers.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are MaxPreps Sacramento, powered by our good friends from SMUD. And check us out on sacb.com every day. Photo galleries, stories, just good stuff, because we appreciate the value of great high school sports here. All right, let's get back to the trivia question.
Yeah,
give us the answer there, and then we're going to talk about some of the concerns with high school football across the country. In specific, is it in real danger of folding?
Yeah. All right, let's get that trivia question, Andre. Joe, last segment, we asked you, Nick Iwasa, Jesuit soccer player, has a brother. He graduated from Jesuit in 2011. His brother is still playing. Do you know who his brother is and where he is playing? Do you know the answer?
Hit me.
All right, here we go. Cameron Iwasa graduated in 2011, won a section championship his final year. They beat Davis in a great match, 3-0. I was there. Cameron is playing for the Sacramento Republic FC, had a great rookie year. So Cameron Iwasa, local guy. Boy, we have a lot of local guys playing in the MLS all of a sudden.
All sports.
Or rookie league.
It's incredible. It's incredible. All sports, and we've talked about that, but soccer is a big-time hotbed here. And MLS will arrive in Sacramento one of these days, and it will be well attended. So some good stuff. So the other football that is exciting, it's fun. The Sac Joaquin section playoffs start this week. Previews on sacb.com. Check out maxpreps.com with this show, as we have a bonus show on previewing all that. But there's some warning signs across the country. It's been documented across the country, Mike, where there's been 8 player deaths tied to football, catastrophic injuries, spinal injuries. And is it a problem? Roger Blake, the executive director for the CIF, the governing body for high school sports in this state, says, hey, we're really hitting a critical juncture in the next 2, 3, 4 years on how can we keep this game going. Really stressing a lot of safety, how to tackle right. It's a concern, and they're all talking about it. And this week, Roger Blake of the CIF is meeting with medical personnel across the country. What can we do? So more emphasis on safety, more emphasis on teach the younger players to tackle correctly. It's a safe game, Mike, as long as it's played smart and it's played safe. It's a great game. There's a lot of rewards. Some of the numbers have dropped down on participation numbers. It's a tough sport. It's a physical sport. We understand that. But it's not a bad sport as long as you play it the right way.
Well, what concerns me is kind of going back before high school when you're talking about the youth leagues. That's where it starts. And, you have a lot of volunteers. And the concern is that this is where they're learning to play. This is where they're learning to maybe not want to play anymore. So you got to have good coaches. You got to have good youth coaches, youth programs, that they're teaching the same things at the youth level that you're teaching at the high school level. Otherwise, by the time they get to high school, they may not even be playing.
Exactly. And there's a lot of good youth coaches, and they mean well, but there's a lot of ego in the youth level where they think they have all the answers. Some of these youth coaches throughout the Sacramento region, and I'm sure all across the country, they like to pester and badger the high school varsity coaches. Well, I know what I'm talking about. You focus on your youth level, and the number one thing you can do is don't worry about your big laminated play sheet clipped to your waist and your headsets for 10-year-old youth football football. Focus on technique, blocking, tackling, and being safe and being a mentor. Enough with the ego. Let's think about the safety at the ground roots level.
And liking the game. I think that's important.
That's my commentary for today.
That's our lecture. Get off my
It was
soapbox right here.
Commentary or lecture? Lecture sounds stronger.
All right, Joe, big week this week. Lots going on. We have the soccer section championships out of Casumas Oaks. That's where I'll be. It's in
Sac Joaquin section?
Sac Joaquin section.
The Monsters?
The Monsters. We have water polo championships at the Aquatic Center in Roseville. I'll be at both locations. Of course, there's cross country going on in Folsom. Plenty going on. Volleyball starts up. Is there anything I'm missing?
Football.
Oh,
football. There's a lot of football.
No, besides football, but girls golf NorCal championships in Salinas probably already happened, and then of course state championships at Poppy Hills,
yes.
real close. So
great coverage everywhere with our good friends here at MaxPreps, SACB.com. We're trying to get as many places as we can. It's the most populated state in the union, with the most sports going on, the most participants. It's hard to get everywhere, but we try to touch on it because it's some great stuff out there.
Quick B plug. Can they find you anywhere? Twitter, whatever you want.
SACB.com every day, the print version certainly, and then Twitter as well, SACB_Joe D. We try to keep on it, keep us posted with photos and video links, and keep the commentary civil.
Civil, I like that. All right, folks, thank you for watching, and we're going to see you next week.